What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Red, White, and Bills post-game show. Unfortunately, we have to talk about this again. It's just going to be a little condensed version of the live stream yesterday. But before we get into it, I just want to give a quick shout-out to one of my old Army buddies. His name is Keith Wilcox. He just started a new trucking dispatching company, and he just wanted me to give out a few words to let you know what he's all about. It's called Evolution Trucking and Logistics, and it's an independent freight dispatching service, and eventually it's going to become a fleet of trucks. But for now, he's just doing dispatching. He's brand new to the game, but I can promise you he's very passionate about everything that he does, and I can guarantee you 100% that whatever you need to be done, he could do it to the highest level. He just wants a chance in the industry, so if you're willing, give him a chat. I'll put his phone number and his email down, his contacts, and he will make whatever you need happen. And his name is Keith Wilcox, and I will put his phone number and email in the description. Appreciate it, guys. Show some love for my man. Now we have to get into the unfortunate part. And like in the live stream, I'll start with the good. There's not much. I mean, special teams, Tyler Bass. He's fantastic every game. Tyler Bass, even Matt Hawk, the punter who has been struggling, had a good day punting. And minus a couple of penalties on the special teams. Overall good. Isaiah McKenzie did good returning. And then, I guess, unfortunately Diggs wasn't utilized the way he should have been, but he ended the game pretty well. And really, and then you got, of course, the defense. But that was the obvious part. So, that's really all we got for good. There's a couple of things we got to talk about. A lot of glaring issues. It's becoming apparent, and it's quite alarming, to be honest. We're here in week 9. We just lost to the 1-6, now 2-6 Jacksonville Jaguars, who had been struggling all year, offense and defense. And we had the number 1 offense. We rolled in there. Basically, we didn't get off the bus on offense, and we mustered up 6 points, couldn't even get a single touchdown. And a lot of that could be blamed on the offensive line and the way they performed, along with play calling, and just Josh Allen just did not play well. And I know they all say it starts with them, but people have to be held accountable. This offensive line, even last year, they were average, middle of the pack, but they could play, and as a unit, they're not cohesive. There's a lot of shuffling, and then it's none of it's worked. And this goes back to my point, I got to say this. I just got to. If you watch that game and you didn't think Cody Ford was the best lineman out there yesterday, him and Mitch Morse, then I don't know what to say beyond that. And I'm not saying that Cody Ford is the best lineman on the team, because he isn't. But yesterday, I specifically watched him because I knew people were going to try to come out and say, oh, Cody Ford is this. Cody Ford's the reason why we're not doing this. Well, let me tell you what, guys. Cody Ford has not been starting since week 3. And the offensive line's had problems since week 1. And he played well. And, again, like my old Cody Ford video, he's not better at guard. He's better at tackle. So people want to say he's a bust and move on from him. But, okay, we'll entertain that. Trade Cody Ford. Release Cody Ford. Then what do you got? You put Ryan Bates in, who's also been on this team for a couple years and has been nothing more than a filler. And not that he can't be good, but it's like these people that want him gone, what are you going to replace him with right now? We don't have an option. We could pick up someone off someone else's practice squad, maybe, but I just don't have the confidence that the team's going to do that. And it's an issue with not only the team but the management of the offensive line. It hasn't been addressed yet. We have had 3 separate chances now to address it in the past year, and they're confident with what we got. And I am too, to a point, but they haven't shown me anything. Like this coach, Bobby Johnson, they call him OG Bobby Johnson, but he's got to answer to an OG because he's not an OG right now. He's not acting like it. He doesn't. It's like he doesn't know how to manage his guys. You keep shuffling these people. You keep putting them in different positions. You have all this continuity, but it's not coming to light. It's such an issue. And like I've been saying, if we don't make it far in the playoffs, or if we lose, whatever, it's going to be because of mainly this offensive line, because Josh had no time. And going to the play calling, you're calling plays that take 3-4 seconds to develop. He's got one or 2 seconds to make a read and make a decision. It just doesn't work. I don't know what Brian Daboll thinks up there. Like, you're in the box. You have this view for a reason, and you see all these plays not developing, and you're like, let's just keep doing it. Let's keep going to it. And I got to keep going at Brian Daboll. You got a minute and a half left before the half. You got no timeouts. So you're supposed to, a normal person would be like, let's shoot the sidelines, keep shooting at the sidelines, and we'll be good. But no, with no timeouts, he decides to run a QB draw when we can't run all game, and he thinks it's going to work. So we get tackled for a loss, clock running down, terrible play. Then he calls a deep play with all deep routes, and it takes forever for the play to develop. Allen gets sacked. And then basically, because of time wasted, we just ran the ball, and that was it. You had a minute and a half with our offense, even though they were struggling, to try to even muster 3 points. And it's just little things like that. Like, you try to force the run last game, and now you try to supplement it with wide receiver screens that get blown up instantly, and you keep going to it. It worked like 1 or 2 times, but like, you have Stephon Diggs, an alpha dog on your team, and you're not designing plays to get him open. He had two targets in the first 3 quarters. Like, all his business was in the fourth quarter. And once we started doing it, targeting him, getting him the ball, because he's your best player besides Josh Allen, all of a sudden we started moving the ball. But then when you have 3 turnovers and you only force 1 turnover, it's hard to win, especially when you have 12 penalties. Ugh. I hang my head in shame. For a very disciplined, well-coached football team, 12 penalties is just unacceptable, especially 5 rough, personal fouls for stupid stuff. Like, people, they're trying to get to you. They targeted Trey White the first 2 plays of the game to try to get him angry, and it worked one of the times out of the 2. And I don't agree with it. The person that initiates should the one get the foul, but at that point, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And the fact that, I'm still in utter shock about this game. For some reason, the best offense in the league, 32 points a game, can't muster up a touchdown against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also, got to give it to them, they played a heck of a defensive game. We shut them down on offense. There was no reason why we couldn't have won that game. Defense gave us opportunity after opportunity, and it just makes me sick just thinking about it, guys. There's so many issues, and the run game, non-existent run game. Josh Allen can't be leading the team in rushing yards every game, and it's not a knock on Singletary or Moss. I think it's just the run personnel, and unfortunately, they don't have the speed to make up for a lackluster offensive line right now. And do I think this offensive line can improve by the end of the year, by playoffs? Yeah, of course. But they really got to look inward. This is a week to look inward, because it's not just the offensive line. Josh Allen did not play well. The receivers didn't get separation like they could have. And, again, good coverage. But the offensive coordinator did not coordinate well. And, people like to, oh, Daboll, he's been great. He made Josh Allen this, he made Josh Allen that. I think it was the other way around. Of course, Daboll called some great games, but he's also, took us out of some games in key situations. And it's like, the personnel, and you still stick with stuff that's not working to our strength. And that just blows my mind. It's like, I don't know, because you were playing a lesser team that you thought that you could do things out of the ordinary, do cute things, try to get new stuff on film for the next week. But it came back to bite us. They need to be at the facility till 1, 2 in the morning every day right now, being like, what went wrong? How do we do this? How do we lay not a goose egg, but how do we just blow it, to this team that, it's a week-to-week league in my opinion, but we were by far the better team, and you put up 6 points. It's very alarming. Big 3 things: the run game, the play calling, and the offensive line. It was not good. And, I hate heckling these guys because I've seen them all play great, but the tackles, Deion Dawkins and Darrell Williams, you guys did not play well at all. The other Josh Allen was basically running through the backfield effortlessly, just wreaking havoc. You got a sack, interception, and a forced fumble, all in the same game, and he's just all over the place. Darrell Williams, in a key third down situation on the last drive, basically didn't even stand up to block, and Josh Allen got toasted. Ugh. So like I said, people like to throw the scapegoat on Cody Ford when he's played started his third game all year after not starting since week 3. But it's not just Cody Ford, guys. As a whole, the offensive line did not play well, but Mitch Morse and Cody Ford were the best two out there, and I will say that to anybody. I will defend that because if you saw otherwise, I don't know what game you were watching. But we got to put this loss behind us. You got to hope that they're in the film room right now. They're hearing it from coach. They shouldn't be happy. They're going to be walking out of that film room like, wow, this is really embarrassing. And come to practice the rest of the week, you got a division opponent coming up. And they've been playing tough football. I mean, they put up 30 points against Indianapolis. And like I always said, Indianapolis is probably the most physical team I've seen so far this year. I didn't see every team play, but for the ones I have, Indianapolis seems like the most physical team. So, we got them after the Jets. So we got a huge division game after we just dropped another conference loss. We're 5-3 right now. New England's right on our tail at 5-4. Oh, I don't even like saying that. But that's okay because we take care of business this week. We're 6-3. And then we just got to keep 1 week at a time mentality, just be confident and play Buffalo Bills football because I'm still confident in this team. That loss is going to sting. It's going to sting bad, but, they know they played like trash. They know it was not a good game on offense. Defense is not, defense played absolutely fantastic. And I love watching this defense. And, next week it's going to be the same thing. The defense is going to shine. And it's going to be offense's job after two weeks of poor offensive play to get out there and help bring us to a win. And it basically comes down to the offense. And last year was offense carrying the defense, and now the defense is to carry the offense now. And hopefully we can get back to that offense and defense both being number one because the offense did not play like a number one offense. There's no excuse. Absolutely no excuse. They deserve every negative thing they're going to hear this week. But it's their job to come out next week, put this week behind them, put a win on the board for us. So that's all I got, guys. Remember to check out my buddy. I'm going to put his phone number and email in the description. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks again for the 150 subscribers. I love each and every one of you. I love doing this. I can't wait to do another video. I can't wait to keep growing this channel. This is all for you guys. Remember, go Bills, baby.